process behind those is those of you who use Excel and those of you who use Smartly. This is actually a quicker, more user-friendly way to interrogate the data without actually having to be in GP itself. The Excel reports get automatically installed when GP is there, and you will find them on your pages. So if you go to your financial page, you see you have got Excel reports, sales, Excel reports, purchasing, so on and so forth. So you can access these from within GP, or you can access them externally. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to go into financials and then go to Excel reports. So this is a list of predefined reports you get out of the box. The beauty of it is, because it's Excel, you can change them, do whatever you want to them, but it's designed to be a link directly from GP for you. I'm going to just do an account transaction listing. Alternatively, if you wanted to get to where your reports are, they'll probably be installed within the Dynamics folder of your local PC. So I am going to open up my account transactions. So what you see we've got here is very, very detailed information. Lots and lots of info. And you'll see that that has returned 22,000 lines in a matter of seconds. Now, those of you who use SmartList, you'll see that if you were to try and return 22,000 lines in SmartList, that would take a long time. So the information that's actually held within here, if you look, we've got journal entry, series, transaction date, account number, so on and so forth. Excuse me, is exactly the same in SmartList. Journal entry, series, transaction date, account number, so on and so forth. Now, this data itself is automatically refreshable. So you can get it to refresh when you want it to, or you can get it to automatically refresh when it opens up. So the good thing is, because this is just Excel, you can use Excel formulas. So what I'd like to do, one of the biggest issues with GP is you've got debits and credits. Well, what probably really is an amount. So I'm going to pop an additional column in, and I'm going to call this amount. And simply enough, I'm just going to do debits less credits. And there we have an amount column automatically in there. I can format any column that I like, and I can delete any column that I don't want. One thing is particularly good is when you are using these, there is a drill back function back into GP. So if I click on that hyperlink, what it would actually do is open up the record within GP for me. So it's a good way of analysing data and getting back to what's been processed in the system. So now I've got this, what I'll do is I'll quickly save it. And I'll just pop it on my desktop for the time being. So now it's saved there, I don't even have to be in GP to run it. There we go. So there's my financial transactions. Just open that up. So now, what I potentially want to do is actually make it a little bit more user-friendly. So I'm going to pop a pivot table in, and it's automatic for the data that's in that sheet. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to have down the left-hand side, I'm going to have my account categories. And then underneath my categories, I'm going to have all my account numbers. And then going along the top, I'm going to have my period ID. I'm also going to pop my year in. I'll pop that in above there. And I'll put my values in, which is just and then we have a nice simple pivot table with all my information in, with my drill down. So I can double click and it shows me the detail behind it, and behind it you'll see again I have got my drill down if I so desire. Or I can make it a little bit simpler and using just standard Excel I can pop in a timeline. So I want to see August 2018, August and October. What I'd also like to do is pop in a slicer. So what a slicer will do is actually make the figures more dynamic. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to pop a slicer in for my account category. My posting type, show whether it's balance sheet or P&L. And you can then format these to be whatever you like. So I'm just going to make that a little bit easier to see by making that X number of columns across. So there we go. So what we've got now is we've got a nice dashboard which can be easily broken down into a range of codes, a range of periods, without even having to be in GP. Very, very powerful, very, very simple to use. Once that's saved, you can then provide anyone within the business access to this, and because it's real-time data, it will automatically refresh as and when you need to. Moving on from that a little bit, I'm just going to save that one. Was that yours? Okay. So I'm just going to go back to where my reports are. Excuse me. So they are broken down on a company by company basis. Not a problem. So I'm going to go into my sample company. It's then broken down by ledger. Now don't worry that you don't potentially use all of these. You don't have to use them. They use up very, very little space. So I'm going to go into my sales ledger. One thing you also forget straight out the box is dashboards. So this dashboard is looking at exactly the same format as the one I was beforehand. It's real-time data, which can be drilled down on. Opened up within finance, opened up within GP. But what you may want to do is actually create your own. So I'm going to close that one. And you'll see there's lots and lots of, whether you use sales order processing or receivables, anyone who uses invoicing, you won't be able to because that's no longer available. So I'm just going to open up my receivables transactions. There we go. This is the standard ones that come as part of the system. Now, the standard reports produce the standard smart list columns, but what you can do is you can very, very easily, and you only have to do this once, is change it so that rather than have specific columns, and those columns are exactly the same as in smart list, you can just tell it to bring in everything. There we have absolutely every column. And once again, from a size perspective, that's brought through 1,300 rows instantaneously. So there's nothing stopping you, because of the connection, adding a second tab in for a different company, a third tab in for a third company, and having a nice consolidated age debt or balance sheet or P&L directly within Excel. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change this into a detailed summary TB on the sales ledger. So I'm just going to pop some rows in, and I'm going to pop. So it's days. We'll have days overdue. I'll pop two more in. So we'll have current 31 to 60. And 61 plus. Okay, so if you want to have it as of today, I can simply see, so I want to have a look at where my document due date is. It's all alphabetical. And just make that a nice number. Swap that round. There we go, so that's how many days outstanding it is, and you'll see if I change that to 170914 for argument's sake, you'll see my days automatically update. So what I can now do, just using Excel, so if that's less than 30, I'm going to put the current transaction amount in, so I'm just going to scroll over to current transaction amount. There we go, so that's my current's done, so I'm just going to copy that, pop that in there. So, just change this a little bit, so I'll just do an if and greater than 30 oops. Anyway, get the general gist rather than mess around trying to get that working. So you can have as many columns as you want. You can create your own aging buckets. So now that's done, I'm just going to save that. And once again, I'm going to pop in a pivot chart. And once again, this is automatically refreshable. So nice and simple, I'm going to have my customer and my current balance. I can change my data type to a pie chart. And so on and so forth. So it's a very, very simple way to get meaningful data out of the system. And there we have it. So those of you who do want consolidated age debt or consolidated figures or just a simple way of interrogating data, using the Excel reports is the way forward for you. If anyone's got any questions, please get in touch with Matt or raise your hand now and type in a question and we can endeavour to ask them.
We've had 2 questions.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's all right, I didn't understand you. First question was report deployment, so who can use this?
Anyone, provided you give them access. So it's the connection, you can set it up via Windows ID or by a specific SQL user ID, but it's entirely up to your own organisation.
Okay, and the second question was security, in terms of visibility of data. Who sees what?
That, again, would be down to who you give people access to. It's definitely, the data can be interrogated and set to run by a specific user ID. And you can limit that down to what a lot of organisations tend to do is have a specific reporting ID. Obviously, you don't want people looking at sensitive payroll information and stuff like that. So it is relatively simple to do. Oh, there's another question. Is it available for GP 2010? Yes.
Is that specific for the Excel thing, or is that?
How did you refresh this? Steve, I told you that yesterday. So yeah, so the questions of hang on. Right.
You didn't like them.
Hi, I don't see Excel on GP 2010.
That's all right, it's just that one.
Okay, right, sorry. How do you refresh, disable, refresh? Really, Steve? I was with Steve yesterday. So what you basically do is on the connections, let's just close that. Properties, it's there. So if you don't want it to, simply untick that. Where are the questions gone? Sorry, I've lost the questions. There we go. Thanks, no problem. Yes, right. Sheetal, yes, I can't see the Excel folder on GP. Right, sorry. Elliot, is this available for GP 2010? Yes. If you can see GP in front of you, if they've been deployed, on your ledger page, you'll see Excel reports. If they've not been deployed, it is very simple to do. How many companies have you got, Elliot? Is Elliot still there? Oh, right, sorry. 20 companies. Oh, that's not too bad. So to deploy it for everything, you're probably looking at about 15 minutes. So what you can do, sorry, remind me where Elliot's from, please, Matt. Have you got GP in front of you, Elliot? If you have, under administration, and then Setup. Just move these out of the way. Move that out of the way. Reporting tool set up.
See ya.
Fine. You see you've got Excel reports. All you do is you pick a folder for it to go into and then deploy, and it will just run. Okay, thank you. Any other questions at all? Everyone see how handy this is? They are great. They're wherever possible. I always try to use the Excel reports for reporting, for ad hoc queries, so on and so forth, because it's Excel, it's familiar, it's quick, and those of you who have relatively slow systems, it's very good for quickly interrogating data. Nowadays, the majority of people will prefer to use Excel reports from GP as opposed to other tools. So, if you'd like some more help, then please get in contact with your account manager. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
As Simon said, if you do have any additional questions, guys, obviously just to give you a taste of Excel. If you do have any other questions, either drop an email to me or drop an email to your account manager. We'll be happy to help. We really like the Excel reporting. It puts a little bit of the power of reporting back in your hands rather than in that of developers or your IT team. So a lot of our customers are using these sorts of reports. Ad hoc reporting, not potentially huge complex stuff, but yeah, ad hoc reporting is sort of easy. Thanks for your attendance. We do have other webinars on our website. Check them out at www.advantage.co.uk/events, and we hope to see you at future events. Thanks, guys.